yes on the chat box. This is to all the attendees. If you guys are being able to hear me, then please type yes in the chat box. Alright. A very good evening to all the attendees and the panelists over here who have come here to attend this webinar on NLU Delhi analysis. Today we are here to analyze the actual paper NLU Delhi that had taken place today at 3 o'clock to 4:30, which comprised around 13,500 applicants against 10,000 applicants of last year, wherein approximately 6,500 students were from Delhi. Today, we are here to analyze the overall question paper. What we figure out is that the overall level of the question paper ranges from moderate to difficult, wherein the GK and the math sections have posed some problems to the student. The detailed analysis will shortly be put up in the law entrance website, so please hold your patience for the detailed analysis. But over here today in this analysis session, we have legal faculty, mathematics and English and general knowledge faculty present to answer your doubts and queries with regards to the question paper pattern. With regards to legal, we have got Ms. Shreya. For mathematics, Mr. Arpit. For English, Ms. Inderdeep. And for general knowledge, Mr. Prashant. We shall begin this session with the analysis of the legal aptitude section. And Ms. Shreya is going to take over in this particular session. This is to Srijoy Bhattacharya. This is a technical error from your end. We are sorry. This cannot be rectified from our side. So please arrange for an alternative. Sarangan Rajesh. As yet, we do not have any answer key for A-Lit paper, but we are going to As yet, we do not have any answer key for the A-Lit paper, but we are going to analyze the paper on the basis of the comments that we have received from the people who have taken the entrance exam today. So this is on the basis of what we have gathered from the students who have appeared for the NLU entrance exam today. So this is entirely going to be on the basis of what we have gathered from the students, and we do not, this is to disclaim that we do not have the actual paper, neither the actual answer key. So today's analysis that we are going to have at this point of time is going to be entirely on the basis of the information gathered from the students who have appeared for NLU Delhi entrance examination today. I should repeat that this year, there had been 13,500 applicants against the 10,000 applicants who had appeared for the entrance exam last year. So a total of 13,500 students had appeared for this entrance exam this year. Approximately 6,500 are from Delhi. Now we shall begin with the analysis of the question paper, wherein we are going to begin with the legal aptitude section first. As all of you know, this paper is a 150 marks paper, wherein 35 marks each is given to all these sections excepting for mathematics, which includes marks of 10. So the legal aptitude section this year had been a combination of knowledge and reasoning questions where the difficulty level had not been much high, and it was pretty moderate with regards to the attempts and the answers that the students have been able to deliver in this paper. The reasoning questions were in the lines of the course of the module and the mock tests which have been provided by LFD, posing no difficulty at all for the students to apprehend the question, to analyze the answer and put their answers in the answer sheet. Primarily around a mixed combination of the knowledge and the reasoning questions had come, wherein the reasoning questions had been asked from topics of law of tort, including subjects like vicarious liability, state liability, negligence, and other related topics of tort. Criminal law, including abetment, criminal conspiracy, and theft. Certain questions from constitutional law had also featured in this particular question paper. The knowledge-based question, however, ranged from various aspects, including from I'm sorry for the interruption, but Bhuvan, we are not going to discuss every question today, but we are definitely going to answer questions wherein you have faced difficulty and you would want the answer to be clarified right at this point of time. Let me disclaim once again, we do not have the question paper. The question paper have not been issued by NLU Delhi, neither do we have the answer key. So whatever analysis we are going to do at this point of time is only going to be confined from the point of view of the information that has been gathered from the students who have appeared in this entrance examination today. I repeat, this analysis is only going to confine on the basis of information received from students who have appeared for this NLU entrance examination today. We do not possess the question paper, neither the answer key, as it has not been allowed from the college end to be given to the public as such. I hope this clarifies the doubt of most of the students who have been inquiring whether we are going to analyze the entire question paper. We shall proceed with the analysis of the legal aptitude here. Like I told you earlier, it's a combination of knowledge and reasoning-based questions. Now, in this particular session, in case you guys remember any questions wherein you have found out it to be a little difficult, then you may let us know your doubt. We will try to definitely clarify it. Now, let's go back to the legal aptitude analysis. The knowledge questions, however, confined from the variety of legal aptitude subjects that we had studied already in the classrooms. It included topics from constitutional law, from criminal law, as well as other aspects like international law, intellectual property, and some such. None of the questions were of a very high difficulty level. They were all on the lines of the questions which have been given to the students in the modules, as well as the mock test and the class exercises. If you guys have any pertinent doubt with respect to the legal aptitude sections, you may please provide us with the questions and your query. We will try to solve it right at this point of time. From the information gathered from students who had appeared for this NLU Delhi entrance examination today, we understand that an attempt of around 30 to 35 questions in legal aptitude is desirable, and most of the students must have been able to attempt minimum of around 30 questions. The section was easy to moderately difficult. It did not pose any problem to students pertaining to the level of the questions as such. Now, in case you guys have any questions with regards to the legal aptitude section, you may please put forward, else we are going to shift to the maths analysis part taken by Mr. Arpit. So I repeat once again, in case there are any pertinent questions with regards to the legal aptitude section, you may please let us know. If there are no further questions with regards to the legal aptitude section, we will proceed further to the math section analysis, which will be taken over by Mr. Arpit. Sabrish, I am sorry, I'm not being able to understand your question completely. You say in the section of legal reasoning, what would be answer for the question? Though you have not mentioned any question as such. So I'm sorry, Sabrish, I would not be able to answer your question because it feels that it's an incomplete question. If you have any pertinent doubt, please let us know. And this is to all the other participants. In case you have got any pertinent doubts with regards to legal aptitude section, you may ask us right here. Else we are going to go to the analysis of the mathematics section, which will be presided over by Mr. Arpit. All right. So here we pass on the microphone to Mr. Arpit for the analysis of the mathematics section.
Thank you, Shreya. I hope all of you had a wonderful paper today. The mathematics section of the NLU paper was quite on the expected lines, though some of the questions were fairly easy, but on the other hand, some of the questions were fairly tricky and tedious in time taking. So, on a whole, there were 10 questions, and I would say that a smart student would have given somewhere between 7 to 11, 12 minutes to attempt all the 10 questions. And like one would expect to get a score of 5 to 7 at least in this section. Since the paper was not given, so we do not have actual questions and answers, but I have spoken to many students myself, and I found out that there were some questions that were tricky, that were tedious, that were time taking. You was not getting answers directly by applying direct formulas, and on the other hand, there were some questions that were fairly easy and could have been solved by looking, even by reading the questions once. So overall, I would say that if you have given somewhere between 10 to 12 minutes, you could have definitely solved. You could have definitely got a score of 5 to 7 marks in this section. As far as the breakup is concerned, what I have got. As far as the breakup is concerned, what I've got, like there were 2 questions from time, speed and distance, 2 questions from time and work, 2 questions from profit, loss and discount, 1 question from average, 1 question from ratio proportion, and 1 question from numbers. And there is a question from Muskan. Can we do calculation in the math question in the paper itself? Of course, you were expected to do the calculations there itself. Or I would suggest that try to do calculations mentally. That will save you paper and time. So, so we were covering the breakup. So they would, like most of the questions, around 80% of the paper was filled with arithmetic questions, and 2 questions were from the number system. The questions from the number system tested you on the properties of prime numbers and how many prime numbers were there between 2 to 100. However, the questions on profit, loss and discount, the question of time, speed and distance tested you on concepts of relative speed and other questions. So I would say that if you would have attempted, 1 or 2 questions from profit, loss and discount, and 1 and 2 from ratio, proportion and numbers, you could have definitely got a good score in this particular section, though there is no sectional cutoff. But like if you are giving somewhere between 10 minutes, you would be getting a score of a score of 5 to 7 marks in this section. 3 to 4 questions in this section were very easy, while some questions from profit, loss and discount, and 1 of the question from time, speed and distance was tricky, as it was reported by the students. So if you are having any specific queries regarding this section, please type in the chat box. I would try to solve as much queries as I can. I repeat, if you are having any specific queries related to this section, please speak now, or we can move on to the other section for the analysis. Deepika has asked how do you do the first question. Deepika, I would request you to type the question, so I can tell you, like, since the first question could be different in your set and could be different in somebody else's set. So if you can type the question, that will be really beneficial. I would try to help you out here. Yeah, Deepika, it was about finding out the difference between prime numbers. If you would have observed, the question asked that, like, it was based on the property that how many prime numbers are there in the first 100 natural numbers. So if you knew the fact that there are 25 prime numbers in first 100 natural numbers, you could have found the answers very easily. Okay, any other question?
क्वेश्चन और आंसर में करें, वो चैट में करते हैं।
नहीं, अरे तो क्वेश्चन और आंसर में भी कर दे, वहाँ पे भी तो नहीं है।
पहले दिन में
Some of the students are asking about the cutoff for this paper. Like we are expecting the cutoff to hover around somewhere. It would be a figure close to 100, somewhere between 98 to 102. And we are going to put up a detailed analysis on lawentrance.com within 10 to 15 minutes. So I would request all of you to go to lawentrance.com around 8:15 and check the proper analysis, and then you can get the required cutoff. No, Yuvina, in that question you did not require right to check all the numbers, since the question was based on the properties of prime numbers. Okay, so there are 25 prime numbers, and apart from those 25 prime numbers, all the other numbers will have one factor, will have at least three factors. One, the number itself, and one other factor. Any non-prime number will have at least three factors. So you do not require to check all the numbers. All the thought that was required, like what is the prime number? A prime number is a number which are having only two factors, one in itself. So apart from all the prime numbers, the rest, if you take the difference between number of prime numbers and the rest numbers, you would get your answer. Alok Bajpayee has asked, if a person gives a discount of 20%, he gains 100 rupees in place of 200. Okay, he gains 100. What is the cost price? Okay, so what you are trying to say that a discount of 20% is equivalent to 100 rupees, right? So your marked price should be around 500. Okay. So you. Look, Alok, if you want to solve this question, just look at the fact. You are asking if a person gives a discount of 20%, he gains 100 rupees in place of 200, what is the cost price? Okay, just see, a discount of 20% is equivalent to 100 rupees. So your marked, and the discount has been given on the marked price. So what is your marked price? 500 rupees, right? And like the cost price should be 300 rupees. Since he gives a discount of 100 rupees, earlier at the cost price of 300, he was gaining 200 rupees while selling it at 500. Right now he has given a discount of 20% or 100 rupees. So now he is selling an item worth rupees 300 at the price of rupees 400. So I think I have answered your query. Any other question? There are 70 seats in NLUD. Somebody has asked that how many seats are there in NLUD, and for general it should be 50%. "57 seats are there for general. Anuya has said that due to disturbance by another candidate in our exam room, we all lost valuable time. How can that be addressed? Anumeha, I don't see like that NLUD guys will be addressing your queries, but I would request you to at least mail them about this situation so that this incident does not happen with any other candidate. I would request you to go to the NLUD website or mail, just put a mail to amandeep.raj@careerlauncher.com. He would help you out with the NLUD authorities email ID, and just report your incident to them, so that this incident does not happen with any other serious candidate. Okay, any other question in mathematics section, or we can move on to other section? Okay, there was a question in which there are three consecutive even prime numbers such that thrice the smallest number exceed the biggest number by 2. Find the biggest number. Okay, so it's a simple like it's a very simple equation. Three consecutive even prime. Pravesh, I think you have put out the question mistakenly. How can there will be three even prime numbers? There is only one even prime number, that is 2. There is no other even prime number. So I think. Abhishek, the cutoff should hover around 100, 98 to 100. You can check the whiteboard. I think a whiteboard is visible to you. Okay, Sabrish has rectified the question. That question was about three positive even numbers. Okay, such that the thrice the smallest number exceed the biggest number by 2. Okay, so since if you see there are three consecutive prime numbers that are even, so like what can be the numbers? If you think like a number, suppose I take the middle number as a, then the smallest number will be a minus 2 and the largest number will be a plus 2. So you have got one equation, and you are telling me another condition that the thrice the smallest number exceeds the biggest number by 2. So 3 into a minus 2 plus 2, 3 into a minus 2 is equal to a plus 4. So 3a minus 6 is equal to a plus 6. The equation should be like this. If I take three numbers, okay, so equation, I am taking the middle number as a, the largest number should be this, and the smallest number should be this. Okay, a minus 2, because since there are three consecutive even numbers, there would be a gap of 2 between all of them, and now you can write the equation.
This is to answer Anumeha Mathur's question. Anumeha, there is no sectional cutoff for this entrance examination, okay? It's an overall cutoff that we have. We do not have any sectional cutoff. So it is not necessary for you to attempt each section like you have written, as we do not have any sectional cutoff.
Is there any other question that I can address?
I think all the queries pertaining to the math section has already been answered by Mr. Arpit. Thank you so much for being here in the analysis. Now we move on to the next section, which will be taken by Ms. Inderdeep for English. So questions pertaining to English should be put on in the chat box, and it will be handled by Ms. Inderdeep.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Okay, I hope I'm audible to everyone here. Can we have a quick yes there? Okay. So, the English section was pretty much easy. We all agree, right? Okay, I have a query there right away. The passages are so long, how am I supposed to do them in such little amount of time? Well, as far as I got to know from the students, there was only one passage. So the first thing that I would tell you is, out of 35 questions, 7 questions, if you had to leave them for the end, I think that is very advisable. So leave the passage for the end, go on to other questions. 3 to 4 questions on parajumbles, which were, I think a cakewalk should have been attempted first. Synonym, antonym were average, should have been attempted. And I saw students reporting 10 to 11 FIVs. They don't take much time, all based on prepositions, very easy, should have been attempted. What else? Sentence correction was different. You don't have that regular sentence correction that we see in law papers. One sentence divided into parts, and there is an error in one part. Here the question was 4 different sentences written in 4 ways. You have to spot the correct or the incorrect sentence. So I think that was a deviation there. But look for, again, an advice for the other papers to follow. Look for common errors there. Do not linger on the question. If you cannot spot the error, move on to the next question. Since it was a speed-based test, you only have 90 minutes. Do not stick on one question. And RCs, I think it's very advisable to leave it for the end. If you have time, come back to them and go through them. As far as the difficulty level of the questions were concerned, I don't think that was a concern, right? If I have any queries pertaining to the section, please go ahead. An attempt of 25 to 27 should be ideal, I think, given the time constraint. A good attempt should be around 25 to 27. Any questions? What were the other options? This is not the Sabarish, can I have the other options for the question? The expected cutoff should be around
98 to 100. Guys, please take a note on the information which have been given on your whiteboard. The expected cutoff should range around 98 to 100.
Can I have some questions? Yes, Sabarish, what were the other options? Intangible, no. Divisive, no. Divisive, is that a word? No. Probably you want there an S, okay.
This is just to answer the query with regards to when the results are going to be out. Sorry, we do not have any fixed date as yet. NLU Delhi has not given any fixed date with respect to the results. But ideally, considering the previous year's record, the results are expected to be out by the end of May. But as I mentioned earlier, NLU Delhi has not come up with any specific date as yet as to when the results are going to be out for this test which was held today. I shall pass on the mic to Indrajit to answer Sabrish's question.
Yes, Sabrish. The answer is correct. It is indeed tangible. Any other question? Can I have... okay, I'm reading out Sabarish's query. A laborer being responsible for foreseeable site for a... I think that's a query pertaining to legal aptitude. Anyway, we'll address this query after I'm through with my English analysis. Any other query? I know that, but since you guys attempted the paper, you must have had a feel of the paper and had some queries. I'm answering Anumeha Mathur, who says that we do not have the question paper, so we cannot ask specific questions. I'm asking for queries in general or any question that would have bugged you there. No sound coming.
Kavarinder, this is something which I believe is a technical problem from your end. So please check the connections with respect to the computer. Here, I believe students are not having any further doubts with regards to the English section over here. We would next go to the logical reasoning section over here, wherein Ms. Inderdeep and Mr. Arpit is going to take over. So I request Mr. Arpit and Inderdeep to answer queries with regards to logical reasoning. And we shall get back to the legal questions, Sabrish. I would request other students, once we are through with the analysis of a particular section, please, it will be advisable if you are not putting further any questions pertaining to the section which has already been discussed. All right? So please avoid if that could be possible. So here I hand over the microphone to Mr. Arpit and Ms. Inderdeep.
Thank you, Shreya. I hope I'm audible. Okay, so as far as the pattern of this section is concerned, the pattern of this section is very similar to the last year's pattern, even in terms of the breakup. The questions were asked from the area of series, coding, decoding, blood relationship, arrangement, assumption, statement assumption, critical listening. Though 4 questions of new type were asked in this area, that was of word formation, wherein a word was given and you have to identify an option which cannot be formed by jumbling the letters of the given word. And in a very similar pattern to the last year, there were questions from calendar, directions, and there were some questions from analogy as well, the mathematical analogy. So as far as the difficulty level is concerned, some students reported that the series questions, they unlike last year wherein you were asked to find the next term of the series, this year you was asked to find the wrong term in the series. So but still in some of the questions in series were tricky, but as you know, we have always suggested to you guys that if in series questions the pattern is not visible to you in very first attempt, we advise you to leave that question and move on to the next question. Since there were 35 questions in this section, there was enough scope to leave many questions and attempt only those questions of which you were you were sure of the answers. So since there were 4 series questions, I hope, since I do not have any paper, but I hope at least 2 questions must have been attempted from this area. From coding, decoding, there were 4 questions. You could have attempted 3 questions from that area as well. In blood relation question, you have to take care. The names given in the blood relationship set were very misleading. In the question set, nowhere it was specified that who is a male and who is a female, but the names were given of males and females, so you have to take them as a neutral, and from the other conditions you have to deduce that are the male or females. So you have to take care in blood relationship, you have to take care of this fact. The arrangement, there was a 6 question set based on the arrangement, which was very difficult according to some students, and some other students have reported that this question was of moderate level of difficulty. So since I am assuming that this question was of a very difficult level, you could have left that set if you was not getting the arrangement in first or second attempt. So you should have left the set. Critical listening questions were easy, and Inderdeep will take those questions in details. The question on calendar, the question was somewhat like this, that if a person was born in 1993, I think on 6th March 1993, and Independence Day of India falls on this day, so on which day he was born. And a very simple question on direction was there, which was also must attempt, and there were 3 questions in analogy, so which must have been attempted. So I think an attempt of around, you must have attempted to, at least 20 questions in the direction, and like a score of 25 to 30 would be considered very good in this section. I would request Inderdeep to take verbal part of reasoning for this section.
Hello again, everybody. We'll discuss the verbal reasoning section here. I think the breakup again for verbal reasoning was very much similar to what it was last year. There were a total of 5 questions from critical reasoning. Critical reasoning for many students is one of, I think, difficult parts of the reasoning section. But here, NLU helped you guys, and the questions were average, not very difficult, mainly from strengthening and weakening of the arguments. And there were 4 questions, I think 4 questions from assumptions, wherein it was not a statement type of assumption. Am I right? Can we have a quick yes there? And you had that complete statement, right, for assumptions? Okay. And then you had analogies. 3 questions on analogies. Overall, given the difficulty level of the paper, I think it's advisable to go on and crack the smaller set of questions first, aside from attempting critical reasoning questions directly. Anything else that we have? Any questions pertaining to the section, please? Yeah, that was one ambiguous question in reasoning, wherein the gender was not specified. It was yes, Ritvik, it was a tricky question. Can we have the question, please? I don't have the paper. Please type on the question, and if you remember it. Dilpreet, type the question, please.
In the meanwhile, I would just address to one question over here with regards to the cutoff. This is no first cutoff, second cutoff that we are mentioning out over here, because first, second and final cutoff is highly dependable on the results of the CLAT. As I hope you guys understand that there are students who tend to shift out of NLU Delhi once the CLAT results are out, right? So on an average, what we can say here is that for this year's entrance examination, a cutoff of 98 to 100 is expected. Considering the feedback what we have got from the students, we expect a cutoff of 98 to 100 is going to be there for this entrance examination. So over to you, Indradeep.
Okay. Can we have any other question if Ritvik was going to type on some question? Please, okay, overall, I think the reasoning section was pretty much on expected lines, and an attempt of around 25 should be a very good attempt there. Okay, we have a query from Srijoy Bhattacharya, who's asked how to manage time for English passages. What is the correct time to complete a medium-sized passage? I think the first strategy for attempting passages should be to judge whether you're comfortable with the topic of the passage to begin with. I think that you should be able to gauge by reading the first 2-3 lines. If it is a very abstruse, philosophical, difficult topic passage that you're not very comfortable in, it's advisable to leave it at that and proceed to the next section. NLU, as we know, has only one passage, so there you shouldn't have a problem managing time. You can begin your section by solving on the rest of the questions and come to the passage later on. Since there are only 5 questions, I don't think that should be a problem. For exams like CLAT, where you have a large number of questions pertaining to the passages, there I can understand. But for NLU, I don't think managing time for passages is a problem.
I'm sorry to interrupt here, but this is for the information of all the students that yes, we are going to take up GK section in a while, as soon as we are done with all the queries pertaining to logical reasoning. So, in case you guys are through with all the logical reasoning questions, which I'm sure you guys are by now, we would go over to Mr. Prashant, who will be clearing your doubts with regards to general knowledge. All right. So, I'm passing on the microphone to Mr. Prashant for doubts with regards to general knowledge, GK.
Hi friends, very good evening to all of you. Friends, this is Prashant and I'm here to solve all queries from GK section, and I hope that you get aware about all the other sections of the paper of NLU examination which was held today. Friends, while discussing the questions of GK, first of all I would say that there were total 35 questions in all, and there was no negative marking. As far as I've talked to different candidates, we found that the general inclination of question paper was towards static GK, and from the current affairs it was only 3 questions. And when we talk about static GK as a part of general knowledge, more emphasis was towards history, science and geography. Approximately 8 to 9 questions were from general science. Almost 5 questions were from history and 4 or 5 questions from geography. Especially history, it was up to wonder that no question from Indian freedom struggle or from the section of national movement. Most of the questions of history were from the field of medieval India. And the geography, it was the physical geography. 2 or 3 questions from Indian economy like fiscal deficit, banking system, etc. 1 question from awards and honors, and other were from miscellaneous field. When we talk about the general difficulty level of the paper, it was moderate to hard, while some questions from a particular region were hard to crack. Some were quite easy, like Miss India 2013 and Best Film declared at National Film Awards 2013. As we have considered the question paper and talked to different candidates, we found that it is 20-25 possible attempts under general knowledge section. Apart from these queries or the information given by me, can I have any more question or query from your side? If there, yeah. Yes, Ritvik Bhattacharya, definitely RBI has power to issue all type of currency notes and coins except rupee 1 note. 1 rupee note is issued by Finance Ministry. That's why it bears the signature of Finance Secretary. Though the power to mint the currency notes and coins vested with Government of India, but the RBI has power to issue all currency and coins. I'm sure that you are talking about the functions of RBI. RBI does not entertain IMF summit and other proceedings of Indian Monetary Fund. Ritik Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar is known for women's education. He was a pioneer in the field of women's education in India and widow remarriage. Yes, Ritik, any more? Anyone else? It's my pleasure, Ritik. Yes, friends, any more query from the field of general knowledge? Still we have no not the complete compilation of generalized questions. It is Mr. Balram Gupta. Director of National Judicial Academy, it is Mr. Balram Gupta. Balram K. Gupta is the Director of National Judicial Academy located at Bhopal. Okay. Where is the angular distance of the Sun the most, sir? In fact, until and unless I get the 4 options, I cannot solve this query, because according to the inclination of Earth, its elliptical path, and Earth's inclination on its axis, the angular distance of Earth from the Sun varies. So please, can you give me all options? Then I will only able to answer you. Okay, Ritvik, you say the options are zenith, solstice, equinoxes, noon time. It is noon time. Noon time at the noon time or the 12 p.m. The angular distance of Sun from the Earth is minimum. That's why Sun shines overhead. Anyone more? Yes, Ritvik, anyone more? Smriti, I told you that Director of National Judicial Academy is Mr. Balram K. Gupta. Okay. Dr. K.N.C. Pillai was Director of National Judicial Academy before Mr. Gupta. In fact, Mr. Gupta is incumbent Director of National Judicial Academy. Deepika Menon, I am not clear about all the options provided by the question, particularly belong to Shesha Suri. But Shesha Suri was famous for its law and order, its tax reforms, etc. Okay, Sujai, Aurangzeb built a building which pretty resembles to Taj Mahal at Aurangabad. Aurangabad is the correct answer. Yes, Srijay Bhattacharya, did you get the answer? The options were law and order, Mansabdari, land revenue, and taxation. It is law and order. Mr. Prashant, please check again the website of NJA. I made it confirm from the very website of NJA that it is KNS Pillai was the predecessor of National Judicial Academy. The incumbent director is Mr. Balram K. Gupta. Yes, Prashant, please check it again.
This is with regards to the question whether which date NLUD is going to present with their answer key. Let me just clarify that there is no specified date which we have received as yet from NLU Delhi that we can say that the answer key is going to come out. But I should request students to keep a tab on the website. Maybe the website will show it, and at the same time, as and when the answer key is put up by NLU Delhi, we would definitely intimate the students of the MyLST account. So I would request students to keep a tab on the MyLST account with regards to the publication of the answer key from NLU Delhi. I hope that suffices your question, Ritvik. There is another quick question from Srijay Bhattacharya with regards to GK. So I'll pass on the microphone to you, sir. Mr. Prashant, please take over the question.
Dear Sujay, in fact, definitely no emperor can introduce any land revenue reform without strengthening the law and order. In fact, the best option is it was the law and order. Shesha Suri introduced and reformed the situation of law and order, and the result was an updated land revenue system. Yes, Prashant Gupta, thank you for checking it again. Prateek, the expected cutoff though there is no individual cutoff.
Guys, the expected cutoff, as we had mentioned, is going to be 98 to 100. Please also keep a check on lawentrance.com, the website of LST, in order to get the analysis which we have been discussing. So the analysis with regards to NLU Delhi question paper has already been put up in the lawentrance.com website. So you could have a check in case you have not been able to follow the cutoff, and also what is the expected attempt that we are gauging from what we have understood from the students with whom we have had a talk. I hope most of the questions with regards to all the sections have already been answered, and I should request all of you at this point of time, considering this was the first entrance exam pertaining to your law entrances this year, that once NLU Delhi entrance is over and you have got CLAT entrance coming up in another 2 weeks' time, forget whatever you had done, alright, and just play it a little cool so that you could be prepared for CLAT in a better fashion, learn from the mistakes that you have made in NLU Delhi so that you don't repeat it in CLAT, and also at the same time, please do spend a little time with respect to all those subjects and sections wherein you have left a lag of preparation in NLU Delhi, so that you have a broader chance with respect to CLAT to make it a brighter and a better entrance exam for you. Alright, so I think there are no further questions as now, because we are not receiving any questions. I would request the students that in case there is any question, alright, because I hope you understand we have a constraint of time pertaining to the time limit for this analysis. So it's but obvious that we would not be able to answer each and every question over here, but we have tried our level best to answer the maximum number of questions which were possible over here by the faculties who had taken out time to come here for this analysis of the question paper. In case any answer is left unanswered, any question is left unanswered, I would request you guys to contact your respective centers and talk to the faculties who had been in touch with you and have taught you for the preparation of NLU Delhi and entrance exam. So I hope that suffices your question over there. And another quick review, Mr. Prashant Gupta and other participants who have not been able to follow the fact that we have already put up the analysis on Law Entrance website, alright, lawentrance.com. So I would request you guys to please have a look at the analysis that has been put up in the website lawentrance.com. All the best to all of you for the upcoming CLAT entrance examination. I would repeat that, whatever is through today, just forget it, rework on your mistakes and redo on stuff which you have left out for preparing for NLU Delhi. All the very best for your CLAT entrance examination, and keep practicing and have the confidence in yourself. Here we sign off from Shreya, Mr. Prashant, Mr. Arpit and Indradeep. We would wish all of you a very, very happy, 2 weeks of preparation. Enjoy this phase. This is not going to come again. I'm sure about it. All the best to all of you. Bye. Take care. Good night.